Happy Friday, Ranch Ranchers. I hope everybody had a wonderful week. It is absolutely beautiful this evening. Nice autumn evening. Not too hot, not too cold. The boys all just finished their meals. Roni is cleaning up after Louie. And there's Louie. So it rained a little bit today, and apparently everybody was out in it, because you can see Louie's got some remnants of rolling and being in the rain. Mr. Abers definitely has some remnants of rolling and being in the rain. And everybody is doing well. They are all continuing with their red light treatment and doing really well. Abe is actually starting to trot a little bit more. So that is a sure sign that he is feeling better, because he really wasn't trotting very much before. But now he's out and about trotting. And trotting up hills, which is good, to help him out with losing a little weight that he needs to. Louie's doing well too, right, Lulu? We've really been focusing on teaching him how to bow, which he's actually doing really, really well with. Right, Sweet Pea? So normally we do it, hi buddy. Normally we do it right after he's done with his meal, and he goes and he gets something to drink, which he was just doing, and then we work on him. We work on his bow, as permitted. You know, if he's having a bad day, then he just gets his carrots, and we don't worry about teaching him how to bow. But he's doing really, really well with it. I have a guess that he knew how to do it before, but because of some of his limitations with mobility, we have had to modify it a bit. Right, buddy? Yes, he does think that it's time to get some carrots. Not yet, bud. I know you gotta wait. So extreme close-up of Louie. But he's been out and about and doing really, really well. It's going to be interesting to see how he does. It's supposed to get a lot colder over the next couple of days, so it's going to be interesting to see how his body reacts. I am seeing a little bit of his leg twitching today, which I hadn't seen in weeks. So I think that has to do a little bit with the change in pressure that's happening. But he's doing well otherwise. Like I said, I'm really happy with the way that he is going with learning how to bow. And once he gets that down, we'll try some other things and see what he is actually able to do. The funny thing is that I think that Abers has caught on about the carrots, because he has been hanging around instead of going back out with Charlie, and then he moseys on back when he sees that we're doing something over here, doesn't he, buddy? Yeah. You got some of your dinner all over your face, bud. But that is how Louie is doing, and Abe. So let's go see what Ellie and Apollo are doing. They're eating their hay for the evening. Ugh. Excuse me while I limbo. Just me, guys. Yeah. So Ellie and Apollo are doing really, really well. Ellie is all healed up from her abscess, even where she blew out is almost completely healed. It's just got a little bit more to go. But as far as walking around and everything, she's doing fine. And she's been taking naps in the evening because it was really hot. So during the day, she was probably staying in here most of the time. But then at night, she goes out into her spot and she lays right out and she goes to sleep for about a good hour. But she pops right back up and then is out and about with Apollo for the rest of the evening. So she's doing really, really well. So we're continuing on with the red light treatment. She is still getting it twice a day. I'm thinking about backing it off to once a day. Just doing it as a maintenance and not doing it because she's ouchy. Apollo is doing well also. You may have noticed that we did trim his tail. He's still having some issues with the scratches on his legs. So I decided to go ahead and trim his tail a little bit. So he still has the length of the tail to get the flies, but it's not that long that the moisture and everything is kind of trapping between his legs and his tail. So he looks, I think he looks pretty, but it's a little weird seeing him with a short tail, because Ellie now has a longer tail than he does. But it was for his own good. And actually, I have to do the same thing with Charlie. His tail is going to be way too long getting into winter time. And that causes problems with the snow and the mud and everything. Because it never just goes right to snow. We always get that muddy phase in there. So I have to trim his tail too. But Apollo's been doing really well. Otherwise, he still has a little bit of the remnants of the scratches left. But we're still working on it. The blue light is definitely seeing results with the blue light. It's just not happening as quickly as I would like it to. It's already, into October, and I was hoping that he'd be healed up a little better, but he's not bleeding anymore, so that's a plus. As long as that doesn't happen and things don't open back up, we'll be good. He'll heal at his own rate. Right, buddy boy? But he's walking fine and enjoying life and being the happy-go-lucky Apollo that he always is. So, one thing I did want to talk about with you guys today, and hopefully a conversation can start, is that I don't know if you guys saw on the national news last night, there was a story on the horses over at Arlington Cemetary, and how they were not well maintained. They weren't taken care of very well. They were supposed to have 2 weeks on from the funeral processions and then 2 weeks off. And they ended up working like 6 weeks in a row. They were using saddles from World War II, which were too small. The story really came about because of the veterinarian who takes care of the horses over at Arlington, who also happens to be in the military as well. She was touching one of the horses' necks. Actually, the horse's name was Charlie, and he dropped down to his knees. And it was just a 10-second video that showed just how painful it was. The horse was. You shouldn't be able to touch a horse's neck, and they dropped that, like his knees literally buckled. So the horses were not being well cared for. I think part of it is that the individuals that were managing the facility were not training the people that were actually physically taking care of the horses. And I think they just got wrapped up into tradition and didn't pay attention to the fact that those saddles probably were not the best for the horses, because they were literally saddles from World War II. And, you know, just like everything else, technology has changed. The size of the horses has changed. So it caused a lot of problems. So the horses, the processions with the horses were shut down for a year, and they were using hearses instead of the horses. And they're slated to come back, and some of the horses, like Charlie, won't be returning because of the physical issues that he had. And so they brought some new horses in. So it's, you know, it doesn't really matter what area it is. You know, it could be, you know, the military, it could be, you know, an owner, it could be, you know, the race industry. There's still a lot of work to be done to make sure that the horses are well cared for and quite frankly aren't being, you know, neglected, which is, you know, pretty much what was happening in Arlington. And it took 2 individuals to step up and say, enough is enough. This isn't right. And fortunately, two people advocated, one being the vet, advocated for them and, you know, moved it up the ranks so that something would be done. There's a lot of horses out there that they don't have that voice. So that's part of what our mission is to be the horse's voice, you know, so they're not neglected, so that they're having the best quality of life, they're having the best medical care, and they're living the best life that they can. You know, I'm not saying that horses can't be used and ridden and driven, but you also have to take into consideration, you know, the quality and the health of the horse. They're not machines. They're living, breathing, sentient beings that, you know, deserve to be treated with the utmost respect. They've done a lot for humanity, and they put up with a lot, and it's our responsibility to take care of them. So I just wanted to open up the conversation about that. If anybody saw the piece and wants to comment when you watch this video, I'm always open to having conversations on, you know, how we can better get the word out about, treating horses, and specifically the gentle giants, in the manner that they deserve. That's it. A little heavier topic today for a Friday, but the story was yesterday and it was on my mind and thought I would bring it up. All right, Roan Charm Ranchers, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and we will talk next week. Be well, everyone.